Here I come, Princess Peach. I was able to rescue you from the evil clutches of Bowser once and for all, and I will have to make my way to the church itself, right over there. Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am Mario here once again, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. So, last time we've actually did manage to explore for quite a bit more on the forms of, the Bowser's Kingdom, of course. And today for this episode, or in this case, we actually did manage to done one of the main boss fights that we did manage to tackle through, and that is the forms of the Robo Brood and stuff like that. And yeah, today for this episode, and also we managed to gather ourselves even more power moons as a result. So today for this episode, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that we are about to be exploring through the Moon Kingdom, which we are once again going to be out of space in the forms of the most recent 3D Mario series at this rate. The only three exceptions, which are Super Mario Sunshine, because that was in a holiday vacation trip, and especially noticeable for Super Mario 64, and especially noticeable in, well, at least in Super Mario 3D Land, they did manage to have the, space-looking environments, but only on the, Special 8 Crown level, which, fundamentally, I think that's how it's usually can gather. I may be wrong about that. But either way, though, let's just get this thing started with the Moon Kingdom, of course. So, as I mentioned to you before, the fact that this is going to be most accurately, we have to most likely focusing on the forms of a moon gravity. Because if you remember from the Super Paper Mario game, by the forms of Chapter 4-2, that you can also manage to able to get used to with the forms of the space gravity. And same applies by the forms of the moon portion of the forms of Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Doors. So even then note that every time you actually walk, or in this case, well, you can still walk on foot within a normal speed of action, but when it comes to jumping, and especially with long jumps in general, you can make a really good leaps of faith in this particular place, especially noticeable because of this is in outer space, of course. And yeah, as far as I can usually just tell about this point, so even then though, yeah. So, today is the forms of the 24th of December, in this case, Christmas Eve, ladies and gentlemen. And because the reason why I say this is because, once again, I really do apologize by the forms of the lack of uploading schedules by this point, because this is originally going to be uploaded during the likes of today, or in this case, yesterday, I should say, of the 23rd of December, before Christmas is getting counting down. But the thing is, I think it's best to say, I think I should probably do for the best for the start, to able to actually just finish up with the main game, and then we'll save the extra missions until the new year. So I think that makes it pretty obvious at this point for this point. So, but again, really do apologize by the forms of the lack of uploading schedules, especially in 2018's schedules case, because of that, there are several delays, and especially noticeable with not much anything else planning for, other than the forms of occasional double uploaders and stuff like that sometimes. But that I digress, which, can be applied by the forms of, our Christmas 2012 unboxing video around the same day as, Mario Kart 7 Redo Let's Play has been finished. So, as far as I was trying to say about this here. Alright, so here we actually introduce into ourselves these new types of enemies, which are very similar enemies as the forms of how it does it in the main boss, in the forms of in the Seaside Kingdom, except that now you can able to ground pound on its head for about only just once. So, now, I think that might be the only noticeable differences, I feel like. But anyways, let's go ahead and just smash that rock to able to claim the Power Moon itself. Rolling rock on the moon. So, yeah, how about that? And by the way, throughout your entire journey, for your first impressions of the Moon Kingdom, you're going to be hearing that little bell, or the church bell, a lot. That's only because of how the fact that we haven't exactly got into there yet. So, anyways though, so, unlike the ones how it does it in Bowser Kingdom, and even with the Luncheon Kingdom, and that was totally my fault. I know it's definitely possible to do this, but it might not be to able to actually make our way with the biggest leaps of faith for that long jump, but I'm just doing that for a little bit of if it's a possible thing. So, anyways though, Yeah, aside from the actual, the regional coins amount, once again, there are 50 of them, just like the ones of how it does it in, you know, the Snow Kingdom, and especially noticeable with, I would say by the forms of the Lost Kingdom, and especially noticeable with, the Lake Kingdom especially, and heck, even the Cascade Kingdom, so I think it's pretty obvious, because this place, well, a little bit more of a medium-sized world, but still looks very, very pure big as a result. But, hey, at least as far as I can usually say about this. And also, we need to use these rocket flowers to make it, you know, that giant leaps of faith right there, until we get ourselves the forms of the cliffside treasure chest. Fundamentally, with the forms of those regional coins, by the way, with the Moon Kingdom itself, these regional coins are so similar to the forms of the, both star bits from both Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2, but also the gratitude crystals from The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, except the fact that they're all purple. Well, they almost kind of resembles the exact same color as the star bits, whilst the forms of gratitude crystals from Skyward Sword is usually orange, so it's one pointing out for there's some slight different colors in these little variations of these familiar crystals. So anyways though, so here we go with this taking the notes mission. So anyways, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a long jump scenarios. You know, think of like how it does it in the purple coin missions from let's just say in Super Mario Galaxy 1, and especially noticeable with Super Mario Galaxy 2 essentially. That way you can able to actually just to do that strategy just like so. So yeah, you get the idea. Oh jeez, I really cannot believe we actually gone, well, not only by the forms if we pretty much almost nearly towards the end, well, we are actually nearly at the end of the main game, aside from extra missions, which still I think is a little bit of a possibilities of how the fact that, well, Sonic is pretty lacking when it comes to Kingdom Hearts Final Mix-Up uploading schedules recently, because I think that during the 9 months ago, that I think that was the last time he did manage to able to record most of the Kingdom Hearts Final Mix-Up Let's Plays, as far as I'm concerned with, which I still need to tell him that about the fact that he definitely needs to come back into that, but oh well. Alright, so should you follow the actual schedule or these questions? It might look like there might be some identical answer, but I think there aren't exactly, but it says no right here, so yeah, I guess we'll save him for a later time though, just because, well, I just don't know what to think about it for the time being, so. And as far as I'm aware, the Power Moon color in this particular kingdom, because of, you remember in the forms of in Bowser Kingdom, that the Power Moons in that specific kingdom was actually in, you know, all in red, which I think is pretty obvious at this point, especially noticeable because of, well, first of all, you know, it just makes it a little bit more pretty obvious with the Bowser-themed world, as far as I'm usually more concerned with. So, here we go with the quiet wall, and let's see when this tunnel that actually leads us. Oh, so we ended up in the underground fiery caverns now. So, naturally, that's, if you think we're about to be, high on top of the actual, thing itself, but nope, we have to go for this obstacle first. So, and before we continue with this kind of tradition, first of all, let me go ahead and capture that Bowser statue on the right, and then that way we could able to move that over, and then if you manage to move that out of the way, then you would able to get your Power Moon. So there you go then. Fundamentally though, with the forms of specifically with the forms of the actual main objective in this world, basically much like the ones in the forms of the Ruined Kingdom, and especially noticeable with Seaside Kingdom, and especially noticeable with the Cloud Kingdom, there's only like one, oh actually there's also the Lake Kingdom as well, kind of think about it, and also Cappy of the Cap Kingdom and stuff like that. There is only one mandatory mission if you really want to go through everything, so. And as far as the actual Power Moon color, as far as I'm concerned, it was actually in white. So, because you know how the fact that the actual moon color was actually forms of white. So, well, when it comes to like reality world and stuff like that, especially if you explore outer space. So yeah, that might get the idea. And also, since we're actually going to be exploring most of our time in the forms of the actual fiery underground cavern section, yes, there will be no longer going to have to be like a space physics at one point up until whenever we get out of here. So, and plus there might be some regional coins around here somewhere though, so definitely need to go after them. So, as far as I'm aware though, because of how the fact that I found the regional coins locations can get pretty easy at one point in this particular kingdom. In fact, there might be the only kingdom that might actually able to actually get ourselves every single items in this specific regional coins usage. So, there we go. There was a keyhole right there, but we do need to find a key around here somewhere, but I don't know exactly where that is though. But again, I'm a little bit too, once again, folks, do apologize by the forms of the lack of disappearances, by the forms of the lack of uploading schedules at this point in time. But don't worry, when it gets to 2019, as I said this before, then we would able to actually upload one video for every day. Specifically on, you know, in 2019's case, it will be 365, and especially noticeable when it gets to 2020, it will be 366 days. Well, at least in terms of that, because of, you know, for that Tokyo 2020 Olympics, it's going to be on its horizon until not that long, actually. Well, a little bit of a long time, though. Well, up until when it gets to, like, almost a year left for this point now. But, still looking forward to it even to this day. So, well, when it comes to able to actually just to watch these, actual Olympic events. So, but, yeah, that's as far as I can usually say about it. But the only thing I wasn't really too sure of just yet, though, is especially noticeable about the fact that, well, if the 3DS's life is going to end, which the only problem with that, though, is the fact that they're still going to be able to actually let the 3DS live, and especially they keep on sending those third-party supports and all that stuff sometimes, and as far as I'm aware, it's because of how the fact that, well, you know, new Nintendo 2DS XL's selling points comes into play, but, you know, you get the idea. Whoa, that bonsai bill is almost gonna, you know, knock me out. But the reason why we do need to able to use that bonsai bill is that not only do we able to capture him, but also to allow you to able to actually just, you know, skip the entire lava magma. So yeah, that's pretty handy. And, yeah, that's all I can get. And also, we got these returning stone eyes ever since new forms of the Sand Kingdom, which, just like before, we'll go ahead and just grab these regional coins quickly. Oh, why do I do that? I'm just a little bit too hasty, that's what it is, I think, because of how the fact that I need to move on to this next part. So, actually, you know what, though? I think committed suicide, it might be okay with me, because the checkpoints wise, when it comes to the actual lava sections themselves, actually leads you to the specific random points and what have you, if you manage to able to keep on dying a lot anyway. So but at least we got that one specific respawning point. So anyways though, now we need to use the bonsai bill yet again to able to traverse all the way from here for the longest distance as possible, and then if you do a cappy long jump, as far as you might as well consider that, and then boom, there you go, fly to the treasure chest and back. So yeah, but you do need to always require the bonsai bill. But a good thing about the actual zip line, as you can see right there, it just leads you back to where you came from. So yeah, that's a pretty handy thing to able to actually compensate, because well, if you're not a big fan of backtracking heavy, then chances are it's a good way to able to backtrack from that specific point. So let's hop off from here to get these more regional coins from that specific pillar, and so far we've only got 9 more to go with the forms of those regional coins from there. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So yeah, again, there's not much else I can really tell for this point, but the forms of, in Christmas Eve in general. Oh, what the hell? That was a double hitbox. Or in this case, a triple hitbox, or even 4 times hitbox comboed. Well, that's okay though, because I respawned into that where the checkpoint is, so that's okay for me. So, I'm pretty sure we're done with it from that specific section throughout it now. So, excuse me. And, before we do that, though, I need to purposely double check I'm actually missing something from down here, which, sure enough, I think I'm actually missed something from, specifically underneath the bridge part, and we'll go ahead and capture the paratrooper, or in this case, the paradry bones. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So that way you can able to actually just press the jump button until you're able to actually flap your wings, and I don't know why I keep doing that. I'm just still hasting on myself, but I think the reason being for that is because I need to head back to where the checkpoint was, or the actual respawning point. What that? Sorry, I really can't speak today for this point, folks. Whenever I respawn into that specific point I was at, so, but that's okay though. Alright, so I need to be very careful right there, and please don't tell me I actually was missing something, but if I do, then I have to backtrack, or in this case just commit suicide yet again. It feels like this might be a little bit tricky of the section to begin with, unless if you actually know the mechanics of the game. Well, I'm still having a little bit of an easier time with the game all in all, but the most unfortunate thing about it is the fact that sometimes I always get myself trial and error sometimes. Well, again, there is no life system, luckily, but whatever you're trying to able to actually just to try to get, you know, the actual power moon, or especially noticeable with the regional coins from there, then you never really tell of how the fact that when it's actually going to be located. But either way, that's just my only confusing side of things. So anyway, and I've noticed there's actually a power moon right over here. So there we go, around the barrier wall. So yeah, that's all I usually cover safe from. So, but again, you know, not much else to really talk about when it comes to Christmas Eve today in general, other than, well, I've managed to able to actually fully conclude it with the forms of the advent calendar departments right there. Well, usually I'll tell you guys more about it when it gets to tomorrow's video, because yes, time is about to be finally come yet again, but either way, we'll get to that when we decide to able to do, you know, the actual Christmas 2018 video as soon as we can. So, let's just say we'll skip this part just because I might ended up getting a reckless thing again. So, yeah, that's my only concern with this. And we'll zip through all the way over there. It looks like we're almost nearly towards the end at this point. So, and yeah, hello there, Church and Chuck. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Oh, right, okay. You can now actually capture and play as Church and Chuck, the most annoying enemy in the forms of Super Mario World, but now I can actually finally take control of this piece of, well, I'm not sure I just call it a piece of anything, but it's because, well, I always get pretty annoyed with this guy so many times whenever I played, you know, Super Mario World on my own time, specifically on the tricky, harder levels. But either way though, I'm really glad that this game is actually now going to be allows me to take control of that specific Church and Chuck. So, it might be still more to come for him until when we get to a later portion of him. So, anyways, just grab these regional coins from here and just make sure you bash into the wall before you're able to stop running. The thing is because of, sometimes though, if you manage to able to actually hold down the Y button and if you release the Y button, then you can essentially watch him just zipping bypass the actual narrow parts. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And I think we're actually going to be at the actual battle arena, because I can tell, wait a minute, I've already killed you ever since the Cascade Kingdom, missus. Oh, I see, your pet now actually has 3 hats now. Do you remember me? You were ever so rude to me back in the Cascade Kingdom. That's what I just said before. In fact, you are quite rude to all my darling broodals. Which is why we all here now. Now, I do believe it's lunchtime for my newly powered up chain chumpkins. Oh, don't like the sound of that. So yeah, here we go with this particular familiar boss fight, yes, once again, and because basically we are fighting against with the forms of the Mandemi brutally once again, but this time around though, she's actually a little bit more trickier this time around though, because well, it might be still pretty piece of cake, because either way, she'll still functions the same way as how it does it back in Cascade Kingdom, but except this time around though, in order to actually just manage to able to try to capture the golden chain jump this time around, you need to able to knock down not only 3 hats, but in informs that when we get to the 3rd and final phase of this particular fight, then I'll mention about this to you as soon as we're able to get to the 3rd and final phase, which sure enough, we are at it. So, yeah, as you can see, he got himself 5 hats this time around though, so it's insane. And, as long as you're able to know what you're doing, it's pretty simple, self-explanatory if you know what you're doing. And, you know, just once again, just have to, like, capture the, chain chumpkins, and then if you manage to fling right back into her, then the boss fight is done. So, however, you can't take it too long, though, because obviously, oh yeah, this is what happens if you manage to get slapped by her. Whenever you transform into chain jump, you're able to cancel out your capture, so that's what happens if you manage to do that. So, yeah, it's all about quick timing reflexes on there at this time, so it just makes it a little bit tricky, but apart from that, though, she's pathetically easy, and this is the final time we're gonna be seeing her. And there she goes. And now, since we're done with the entire area of the forms of the actual lava segment, then we can now, just finally get out of here. So, yeah, I'm quite surprised. And let's see what's on the map, and I'm pretty sure we are 9 power moons so far, out of 27 so far, which is not that many compared to the forms within the forms of the Bowser Kingdom, but don't worry, when we get to the forms of the actual, like, post-game sequences or something like that, then we would guarantee to be able to get even more power moons. So, ever after hill. Okay then, seems promising enough. And we are slowly approaching onto the forms of the actual church itself. So, let's grab these coins quickly in case if there are some items I will be definitely going to be getting from the actual in-game shop or something like that. No, not the actual real money currency, but any forms of the actual coins in this game. So, actually, before we get into the actual church on the other hand though, or get inside the church, we need to explore around for quite a bit too. Not only because of my regional coins count is now up to 47, which I was off by 3 left, but I get the feeling there might be a power moon in here, so we'll go ahead and do that. So even then though, we're now on top of the actual church. Well, usually, because as you can see, the bell itself is now even continuously ringing, and that's what I can think about. And there's the last final 3 regional coins, which this might actually be the only kingdom that we can able to conclude with every single regional coins collected. Even though sometimes it can be pretty tricky whenever you, as you can see, that I'm having a hard time trying to able to get that last darn regional coin in this kingdom. But aside from that though, as long as I can able to be very cautious with that, then I could able to, there we go, now we got all 50 of them. So, unfortunately, we can't do anything else from the actual shops themselves in this kingdom because, obviously, we need to able to rescue Princess Peach first before we're able to do that. So, things can able to work out though. And let's go ahead and throw Cappy onto that specific spade here, and we should reveal another power moon. So yeah, how about that? And let's go ahead and nab that in the forms of the tip of the white spear. So yeah, how about that? And yeah, let's just say this right now. Before we get into the actual church itself, we'll go ahead and go back to the actual Odyssey itself and able to add up even more power moons from there. And then once we're done with all that, then we should be good to go and able to actually just manage to able to rescue Princess Peach for Propers. So, unfortunately, we can't able to reach over 400, but when we get to the later videos, we would definitely reach up to 400 for sure. So, yeah, I guess that's about it. So that's it for the actual Odyssey, and let's head back to the Ever After Hill, and we should able to actually just to prepare the forms of the final showdown between me and Bowser to able to actually go ahead and rescue Princess Peach from this point here. So, man, it's been shocking. Especially how the fact that I'm almost gonna be, you know, trying to accomplish with all that stuff. Okay, quick error right there because of, well, Sonic did manage to able to call me recently about the fact that with the Christmas wrapping, but, obviously, I can't be involved with that. So, with that being said, Here I come, Princess Peach. After several years of able to keep on rescuing you from the past few Mario entries in the series, well, excluding buddy forms of the 2D Mario entries, including the 3D ones as well. But apart from that though, except for Super Mario 3D Worlds, just because you managed to able to join in the adventure with us, with me and Luigi and Toad, specifically the blue Toad color, and as a result though, I'm very glad that you would able to actually appreciate it to able to actually become playable in Super Mario 3D World. And let's just say this right now, I would able to come for you one last time. Well, technically when it gets to New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe though, it might not be different though. Alright, here we are in the wedding hall. Jeez, it's a little bit more quiet around here, unless there was a door that we can barge in. So let's go ahead and just do that. Oh, look at that, I did not notice there are other people involved in this too. Like, from any other kingdoms for this matter, all the way up to, like, the Sand Kingdom, all the way up to the Luncheon Kingdom, which is very odd. But hey, at least we got the Mayor Pauline right here. Kinda wish she can able to sing that awesome Jump Up Superstar theme, but oh well. Crushing the wedding, Mario. That's tricky, even for you. Also, your outfit isn't halfway fancy enough for the occasion. Not that it matters, since you weren't invited. So now it's time for you to make like a boutique and get thrown out. Get ready, Mario. Here's your happily ever after! Anyways, so here we go with the actual main boss, the final boss in the forms within Super Mario Odyssey. But, obviously, this boss fight plays exactly like the ones and how it does in the Cloud Kingdom, except a little bit more tougher and much more aggressive this time around though. Well, I still found this guy to be a lot easier than the forms of from before. Well, it might be still pretty much exactly the same when it comes to difficulty and all that stuff. But, we're not gonna mention about the forms of the second encounter with this, because, obviously, there might be some spoilers for those of you who have not seen this particular game yet. Well, for those of you who haven't owned the actual Nintendo Switch yet. So anyways, though, yeah, but except the fact the matter is, though, that this boss fight is a little bit more trickier than last time, just because, honestly, I found the fire projectile attack is actually a little, or actually the breathing flamethrower attack is actually a lot more trickier to me, though, this time around, though, because I swear I directly trying to dodge that, but at the same time, I constantly gonna get myself hit by the forms of the actual, like, flamethrowers and stuff like that. And also another noticeable difference is, as you can see right there, he can now able to actually use these flames on his tail now. So even then though, that way it could potentially try to make it a little bit more trickier than last time, so... Alright, so let's go ahead and, yeah, you see what I mean? Sometimes, occasionally if I was trying to able to dodge the rest of that, well, some other times though, that I seem to able to keep on getting hit by that giant enormous flamethrower, so... that may throw me off a little bit, but either way though, let's go ahead and get, actually get some more health. And, you know the drill, basically just need to get ourselves, Bowser's hat on with the forms of those, boxing gloves, and just like before, just do a little bit of a punch-out syndrome, and just mash the, well, you can either shake your controller, or in this case just press the Y button if you prefer to be more precise with button mashing. Then you could potentially try to able to actually just to knock him out. Well, not exactly throughout, but just trying to knock him towards the fence. So, yeah, you get the idea with the solution. So, anyways, though, let's go ahead and deal with this one last fist of punch. And while doing so, just dodging him 3 times with his tail. And Kazam! Oh, what? Okay. Now for the proper time. Boom! Alright, so looks like Bowser's got knocked out, and let's go ahead and get Peach. Okay then, so it looks like it's not over yet, so, because basically, that's what happens is the fact that the entire place is going to crumble, so, I guess there's no way we can get out. In fact, I don't know, what am I supposed to do? What are we going to do? Oh, I don't know, maybe just capture, oh? Hell yeah, we can actually take control of Bowser for the first time in a 3D Mario game. How's that? So anyways though, here's the actual final part of the forms of the actual main game of the forms of Super Mario Odyssey. That we need to able to get out of here while simply just dodging a lot of obstacles, specifically by the forms of those weird looking cube looking objects. And especially noticeable, you really can't afford to fall over, or in this case fall out if you will. Because of how the fact that, well, much like the forms of how it does in Super Mario 3D Land and 3D World, well, you have to go through every single, like, platforming sections every once in a while. But, except the fact that we don't able to fight Bowser this time around, though, unlike the ones in, you know, in Super Mario 3D Land, and especially noticeable in Mauser from Super Mario 3D World. Well, I've usually spoiled this for myself there, just because if you're following through our YouTube Let's Plays as far as I'm concerned with, you can check that out. And aside from that though, besides that, these games are now really old. So, well, slightly older than the forms of, you know, in Super Mario 64 and stuff like that, but I digress. This is really cool, that how the fact that, how could Bowser barely fit into that pipe over there? I mean, that's a little bit weird. But hey, it rocks for this point. You can shake your controller or your Joy-Con to able to actually let Bowser breathe fireballs and stuff. And, you know, you get the idea. And, press the actual, like, dash button until you're able to actually let Bowser to able to use his claw attacks. So, yeah, it's pretty satisfying altogether. And, wow, it's amazing. And let's go ahead and push this open. And it looks like we actually got ourselves a little bit of an opening. Well, at least as far as we can able to now finally escape out of there. And what you would know it, much like in Jump Up Superstar, I believe we got ourselves another vocal theme, which appears to be Lead the Way. So, yeah, it's a pretty cool tune as well. But I usually just think that Jump Up Superstar was actually really awesome to me. But I still really enjoyed that Lead the Way, so at least I can sing it for it. So, yeah. Someone who believe in the night yelling. And believe me, forgive me about the forms of my lyrics, it sounds pretty terrible, but either way though, because I haven't really listened to that song for quite some time. But hey, at least that works. Just lead the way. At least I know about that specific for that specific lyric. But apart from that though, in this final portion of this particular escaping section, basically we need to keep on destroying the actual rocks, and then if you do so, then you would able to actually just to create this particular familiar cube. I want this to be more specifically the moon cube, which we'll find more about it whenever we finish up the main adventure. So now for the last section, just have a nice little thrill fun ride with the zipline. So blast off! So enjoy the main ending of Super Mario Odyssey. So you might find the ending very hilarious, and I found it very hilarious too. Oh, I kinda wish if me and Peach will be in love and then happily ever after kind of scenario, but no, I guess it wasn't, so oh well, no big deal. But at least my hopes can be a little bit more of a dreamy or something like that. So yeah, that was it, ladies and gentlemen. That was it for the main game of Super Mario Odyssey. But again, I'm not gonna give my final thoughts of the game just yet though, just because, well, much like the ones in Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2, and especially noticeable in Super Mario 3D Land, and especially Super Mario 3D World, there might be still more things to come here. So even then though, stuff like extra missions, including Power Moons itself, and even especially noticeable with let's just say the next 3 kingdoms coming up, which even then though, I'm probably not going to mention about this until whenever we get to that point. But either way though, still this is a very fantastic looking game, even on the Nintendo Switch for a new hardware platform, and overall this game looks absolutely gorgeous. Even it's so beautiful to look at. Even then though, that it is still as easily one of my favorite 3D Mario games I've ever played right about now. Well, usually I still manage to able to still enjoy through Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 well, I would say Super Mario Galaxy 2 will be at my 2nd place position, and Super Mario Galaxy 1 will be my 3rd place position, and as for the rest of the 3D Mario games, it still impresses me even to this day. And even then though, well, usually as far as every single 3D Mario games these days throughout. And I don't know if they might actually gonna do a sequel to Super Mario Odyssey, but in forms of Super Mario Odyssey 2, just like how it did in forms of Super Mario Galaxy in 2007, and then in 2010, they did release, Super Mario Galaxy 2. And then when this game came out during 2017, but then if it's the possibilities of 2020, they're going to be releasing Super Mario Odyssey 2, which again we don't know exactly for sure yet, just because, well, still no sign of the forms of Nintendo Direct just yet. But even then though, as far as I've heard, the Nintendo Direct will be at some point in next year. So even then though, expecting to concentrate on something more related to other titles announced, especially noticeable on Nintendo Switch main focus. And let's just say this right now, when it gets to the next Nintendo Direct announcements, just take a break on 3DS stuff, just because we've already got a plethora of 3DS stuff has been going for, so... But anyways though, and as far as for that ending sequence right there, I still found that very entertaining, especially that me and Bowser always having a little bit of an argument about the forms of the proposal and stuff, but at least it's still enjoyable even to this day, including the Lead the Way theme song. That is very, very enjoyable. But not digress.
Thank you so much for playing my game.
Of course, myself. Absolutely. So yes, after this credit sequence is done, then we realize that now we can able to actually see what these moon cubes can do. Which, I'm afraid guys, we have to do that during the next year. So join me until 2019 next time of the forms of Super Mario Odyssey, is that we are about to be getting some more power moons thanks to the forms of those moon cubes. And also we can now traverse through the Mushroom Kingdom for Proppers this time around though. And some more power moons to our disposal, including the shops, and some more music tracks along the way. So yeah, this could be very interesting for next year, so see you guys then. Later, fellas.